where nature paints sunrises and sunsets. Survival is raw and unchanged for thousands of years. A place where lions still roar across the savannah, elephants wander beneath ancient trees, and millions of hooves thunder across golden plains. This is Tanzania, the wildest place on earth, and once you step into its landscapes, you'll understand why. Tanzania is not just a country, it is a living canvas of nature's extremes. From the endless Serengeti plains to the soaring peak of Kilimanjaro, from volcanic craters teeming with life to the turquoise waters of the Indian Ocean, it is a land where every horizon holds a new secret. Here, the air feels alive with the rhythm of wildlife. The winds carry the calls of distant animals, and the land itself pulses with ancient energy. At the heart of Tanzania lies its most famous treasure, the Serengeti. Imagine a horizon so vast that the earth seems to stretch forever. Golden grasses ripple under the sun, and acacia trees stand scattered like guardians of time. This is where nature stages its greatest spectacle, the Great Migration. Over 1 million wildebeest, zebras, and gazelles follow the rains across the plains, moving in waves so large they can be seen from the sky. Predators follow closely: lions, cheetahs, and hyenas, each moment a battle between life and death. It is here, in this raw theater of survival, that you feel the pulse of the wild more than anywhere else. But Tanzania is more than just the Serengeti. Look east, and you'll find a mountain so tall, so isolated, it seems to touch the heavens. Mount Kilimanjaro, rising nearly 6,000 meters above sea level, it is the highest peak in Africa, its summit crowned with snow that glitters under the equatorial sunday. Climbing Kilimanjaro is like traveling through all the ecosystems of the world in one journey. At its base, lush rainforests echo with the calls of monkeys and exotic birds. Higher up, moorlands stretch under a cold wind. And at the top, barren ice and rocks stand as the roof of Africa. It is not just a climb, but a spiritual journey, a reminder of how small we are against the scale of the earth. Travel south, and you'll find a hidden Eden, Ngorongoro Crater. This enormous volcanic caldera, formed millions of years ago, holds within its walls one of the densest populations of wildlife on Earth. Picture this: elephants moving slowly across grasslands, hippos basking in shallow waters, flamingos painting the lakes pink, and prides of lions patrolling the plains, all within a single, enclosed paradise. The crater is like a natural amphitheater of life, a place where every creature plays its role in harmony and balance. But Tanzania is not only about vast savannas and dramatic landscapes. It is also about the subtle, the intimate, the almost hidden. In Tarangire National Park, massive baobab trees stand like ancient sentinels, their trunks so wide they could hide entire families. Here, herds of elephants roam freely, some of the largest in Africa, moving gracefully across the dusty terrain. In Ruaha, one of the country's most remote parks, predators dominate the wild. Lions hunt in massive prides, leopards stalk silently in the shadows, and crocodiles wait patiently in rivers that twist through the wilderness. These places remind us that wildness is not always about spectacle, it is also about solitude, silence, and raw authenticity. And then, beyond the wilderness, Tanzania transforms again. Its coastline opens into the Indian Ocean, where turquoise waters meet white sands and history whispers through coral stone streets. On the island of Zanzibar, dhows sail lazily across the horizon, their sails catching the wind as they have for centuries. The scent of cloves and cinnamon drifts through spice plantations, and the labyrinthine alleys of Stone Town echo with stories of trade, culture, and resilience. It is here that the wild meets the human spirit, and Tanzania reveals another side of its soul. But what makes Tanzania truly unforgettable is not only its landscapes, nor even its wildlife, it is its people. The Maasai, with their vibrant red shukas and timeless traditions, walk the same lands as their ancestors, living in harmony with the rhythm of nature. The Hadzabe, one of the last remaining hunter-gatherer tribes on Earth, still move with the seasons, their lives untouched by modern time. The Swahili culture of the coast blends African, Arab, and Persian influences into music, dance, and language, making Tanzania not just a wild land, but a deeply human one. Tanzania is not simply a destination, it is an experience that reaches deep into your soul. Here, the world slows down. The sunsets burn brighter, the nights sound wilder, and the mornings feel more alive. You begin to understand what it means to exist in a world not ruled by technology or cities, but by nature itself. And so, as we step deeper into this extraordinary land, let us open our eyes, our ears, and our hearts. Because Tanzania is not just the wildest place on Earth, it is a reminder of where we all come from, and why the wild still matters. Imagine standing on an endless plain, the horizon stretching so far it feels like the sky itself is melting into the earth. The air trembles with anticipation. The ground seems to hum beneath your feet. Then, it begins a distant rumble, a low, thunderous sound that grows louder with every second. Suddenly, the land comes alive as a river of life surges across the savanna. This is the Great Migration, nature's greatest show on Earth, and it happens right here in Tanzania. Each year, over 1 million wildebeest, joined by hundreds of thousands of zebras and gazelles, embark on a journey so immense, so primal, that it has defined life in East Africa for centuries. They follow the rains, chasing fresh grasses across nearly 2,000 kilometers of open land. Their movement is not random, it is instinct, older than memory itself, written into their very being. And as they march, the Serengeti becomes a living, breathing ocean of hooves, dust, and survival. From above, the sight is almost unimaginable. Dark rivers of animals snake across golden plains, stretching beyond the horizon. Calves stumble to keep up. Mothers guard their young fiercely, and the rhythm of migration beats like the pulse of the earth itself. For the wildebeest, this is a journey of survival. They are the architects of the ecosystem, their movement feeding predators, fertilizing soils, and keeping the balance of the land alive. Without them, the Serengeti would not be what it is. But migration is not without peril. For every wildebeest that moves forward, danger waits. Lions prowl the tall grasses, their amber eyes fixed on the herd. Cheetahs sprint with astonishing speed, striking down the vulnerable. Hyenas laugh in the night, working as teams to outwit and overpower. Yet the most dramatic and deadly challenges lie not on land, but in water. The Mara River crossing is the climax of this epic journey. Picture it: a steep, dusty bank crowded with wildebeest, their bodies trembling with fear and urgency. On the other side lies fresh grazing land, but between them churns a river thick with danger. Crocodiles, ancient and patient, wait, just beneath the surface, jaws wide, eyes unblinking. Then, as if by some silent command, the first wildebeest leaps into the torrent, and chaos erupts. Thousands follow, plunging into the muddy water, fighting against the current, trampling over one another in desperation to reach safety. The air fills with the sounds of splashing, grunting, and panic. Crocodiles strike, dragging the weak under. Many perish, but even in loss, the migration presses forward, unstoppable, inevitable. Watching this unfold is both heartbreaking and awe-inspiring. Raw nature at its most unfiltered. But amid the struggle, there is also beauty. The migration is a story of resilience, of life's determination to endure against all odds. It is the great equalizer. Predator and prey locked in an eternal dance, each dependent on the other to keep the balance of the wild. Without predators, the herds would overwhelm the land. Without the herds, the predators would vanish. In the Serengeti, survival is not just about one creature, it is about the harmony of the whole. The migration also marks a cycle of renewal. When the rains fall on the southern plains, wildebeest calves are born by the thousands. Within minutes of entering the world, they stand on shaky legs, ready to run, because in this land, hesitation can mean death. The sight of newborn calves trying to keep pace with the herd, guided by instinct alone, is a reminder of how fragile yet powerful life can be. For those who witness it, the Great Migration is not just a wildlife event, it is a spiritual experience. You begin to understand that this is not simply about animals moving from one place to another. It is about the earth itself breathing, about life's ancient rhythm unfolding before your eyes. No city, no technology, no human invention can rival the sheer scale of what nature achieves here every year. Travelers who stand on the Serengeti plains during migration often describe it as overwhelming an orchestra of life, where every sound, every movement plays a part in a larger, incomprehensible symphony. The pounding hooves, the cries of predators, the rush of rivers, it all combines into something you don't just see, but feel deep in your chest. And yeah, even as you watch, you realize how fleeting it is. The herds move on, the plains grow quiet, and the cycle waits for the next rains. It is a reminder that nothing in nature is permanent. Only change endures. This is why the Great Migration is called the eighth wonder of the world. It is a miracle of instinct, survival, and unity, unmatched anywhere else on Earth. And here, in Tanzania, you don't just watch it, you live it. Because when you see the migration with your own eyes, you begin to feel a truth that is both humbling and profound. Life is fragile, but it is also relentless. It will always find a way to move forward. And so, as we journey deeper into Tanzania, we will leave behind the thunder of hooves, but we will carry with us the rhythm of the migration, a rhythm that echoes the wildest heart of Africa. It rises like a dream above the plains of Africa, solitary, snow-capped, and shrouded in clouds. Kilimanjaro, the roof of Africa. For centuries, travelers and storytellers have been captivated by its mystery, its silent grandeur, its presence that seems almost otherworldly. To see it for the first time is to feel both small and infinite all at once. Mount Kilimanjaro is the tallest peak on the African continent, standing at nearly 6,000 meters. Yet it is unlike any mountain in the world. Unlike the jagged chains of the Himalayas or the Andes, Kilimanjaro rises alone, an isolated giant born of fire, sculpted by ice, and crowned with glaciers. Its three volcanic cones, Kibo, Mwenzi, and Shira, tell a story written over millions of years. A story of eruptions, collapses, and rebirth, leaving behind the breathtaking massif we see today. From the dusty savanna below, the mountain feels impossibly far away. Elephants graze at its base, giraffes stretch toward acacia trees, and lions roam in its shadow. Life unfolds in the warmth of the plains, while above, on its frozen summit, the air is thin, harsh, and almost alien. This dramatic contrast, lush, tropical forest at the foot, eternal snow at the peak, makes Kilimanjaro not just a mountain, but a universe in itself. Climbing Kilimanjaro is not only a physical journey, it is a spiritual one. The path begins in rainforest, where colobus monkeys leap through thick canopies and birds fill the air with song. The forest is alive, green, and vibrant, dripping with mist and mystery. But as climbers ascend, the landscape changes dramatically. The forest gives way to moorland, a world of giant groundsels and lobelias, strange plants that look as if they belong to another planet. Here, the air cools, the ground toughens, and silence grows deeper. Higher still, the moorland fades into alpine desert, a barren, wind-swept wilderness where only the strongest forms of life cling to survival. The sun scorches by day, and temperatures plunge below freezing by night. And above it all, the icy crown of Kibo glimmers, both inviting and daunting. For climbers, The final ascent is the greatest test. As night falls, headlamps flicker like stars along the mountain's trails. Each step becomes slower, heavier, as oxygen thins and exhaustion grips the body. But then comes dawn. The horizon blazes with crimson and gold as the sun rises over the endless plains of Africa. The world below looks infinite, stretching beyond the imagination. And finally, after hours of struggle, you arrive at Uhuru Peak. Standing at the summit of Kilimanjaro is like touching the sky. The air is sharp, the glaciers glisten in the morning light, and the silence is so complete it feels sacred. For many, reaching the top is not just about conquering a mountain, it is about conquering themselves. The doubts, the fears, the fatigue all fall away in that moment, leaving only awe and an overwhelming sense of connection. Yet Kilimanjaro is more than a mountain to climb. It is also a mountain of meaning. For local Chaga people, who have lived around its slopes for generations, it is a source of life, its streams nourishing their farms and villages. In Swahili, its name combines Kilima, meaning mountain, and Jaro, thought to mean whiteness, a mountain of shining snow. It is a place of legends, where gods are said to dwell above the clouds, watching over the land below. But Kilimanjaro also carries a message of fragility. Its glaciers, which have crowned the peak for thousands of years, are retreating at a dramatic pace. Scientists warn that within decades, the ice may vanish completely, leaving behind only memories of snow on Africa's tallest summit. It is a stark reminder that even the most timeless giants are vulnerable, that even here, in one of Earth's wildest places, change is inevitable. And yet, Kilimanjaro endures. It remains a beacon, drawing dreamers, adventurers, and storytellers from every corner of the world. Writers like Ernest Hemingway and explorers of old tried to capture its essence, but no words, no pictures can ever fully explain what it feels like to stand before it, to walk its paths, to breathe its air. Kilimanjaro must be experienced, felt deep in the soul, to be understood. When you leave its slopes behind, the mountain stays with you, not just as an image in memory, but as a feeling, a reminder of resilience, of beauty, of life's power to rise above the ordinary. Kilimanjaro is more than rock, more than ice, more than altitude. It is a symbol of Africa's strength, of nature's grandeur, and of humanity's endless desire to reach higher, to see beyond, to climb toward the light. This is the roof of Africa. This is Kilimanjaro. Imagine a world hidden within walls of stone, a sanctuary carved by fire and time, where life has flourished in abundance for thousands of years. Picture a vast green bowl cradled by the earth itself, where lions stalk the grasslands, elephants wander under the shadow of acacia trees, and flamingos paint the lakes pink with their delicate wings. This is Ngorongoro Crater, Eden on Earth, a place unlike anywhere else in the world. The Ngorongoro Crater was born of fire. Around 2.5 million years ago, a volcano larger than Kilimanjaro erupted with unimaginable force. Its peak collapsed inward, leaving behind the world's largest intact volcanic caldera. Today, that collapse has become a cradle of life, a self-contained paradise where over 25,000 animals live within its natural walls. From the rim, the view is breathtaking. A patchwork of grasslands, swamps, lakes, and forests stretching out below like a secret kingdom hidden from time. Descending into the crater feels like crossing into another world. The air changes, cooler and fresher, as clouds cling to the rim above. Herds of wildebeest and zebra scatter across the plains, their numbers so dense they seem to cover the land like a living carpet. Buffalo gather in herds, massive and watchful, while black rhinos, rare and ancient, move silently through the brush. Every direction you look, life thrives here, compressed into this remarkable natural amphitheater. But the true rulers of Ngorongoro are the predators. Lions sprawl lazily in the grass, conserving their energy under the midday Sunday. Yet, when the moment is right, they rise with silent power, eyes fixed on the herds. Here, prides are larger than almost anywhere else in Africa, and their dominance over the crater floor is undisputed. Hyenas, ever opportunistic, roam in clans, their laughter echoing across the land. Even cheetahs, the swift ghosts of the savannah, find refuge in this natural arena. For them, Ngorongoro is both hunting ground and battlefield, a place where survival plays out every single day. The heart of the crater is Lake Magadi, a shallow soda lake that glitters in the sunday. Its waters are often tinged pink, not from minerals, but from thousands of flamingos that gather to feed on algae. When the birds take flight, the sky transforms into a canvas of pink and white, a living watercolor that drifts over the grasslands. Around the lake, hippos wallow in pools, their grunts rumbling like thunder, while waterbirds sweep gracefully over the shallows. What makes Ngorongoro so extraordinary is not just its density of wildlife, but its sense of harmony. Within these walls, predator and prey coexist in delicate balance, each species playing its role in a complex web of life. Unlike the wide-open Serengeti, the crater feels intimate, almost enclosed, as though you are peering into nature's private chamber. Every encounter is magnified, every sound sharper, every moment more intense. Yet, Ngorongoro is not just about animals, it is also a place of human history. The surrounding highlands are home to the Maasai, who have lived here for centuries, herding their cattle along the crater's rim. Dressed in vibrant red shukas, the Maasai bring their herds down to graze, their presence a reminder of humanity's deep connection to this land. Even deeper in time, nearby Olduvai Gorge reveals some of the earliest evidence of humankind's story. Fossils and stone tools found here trace our ancestors back millions of years, earning the area the title, the Cradle of Humankind. Standing on the rim of Ngorongoro, you cannot help but feel a profound sense of perspective. This crater is more than a wildlife reserve. It is a living museum of evolution, a reminder of where we came from and how life has endured. The circle of the crater mirrors the circle of life itself. Destruction giving birth to creation, fire giving way to life, and life continuing in an endless cycle. But like all wild places, Ngorongoro faces challenges. Climate change threatens the balance of its ecosystem. The growing human population on its borders presses closer each year. And yet, despite these pressures, the crater endures, still holding its place as one of the last true Edens on Earth. It reminds us of nature's resilience, but also of our responsibility to protect it. To witness Ngorongoro is to glimpse perfection, not the perfection of stillness or peace, but the perfection of life in motion, raw and untamed, balanced by both beauty and brutality. It is a place where you can see the entirety of the natural world, condensed into one sweeping view. A place where time feels slower, yet infinitely older. A place that leaves you humbled, awestruck, and forever changed. Ngorongoro is not just a crater. It is a wonder, a sanctuary, a masterpiece of nature's design. And once you have stood on its rim, once you have gazed down into its hidden paradise, you will never forget it. In the shadow of Tanzania's more famous parks, where the Serengeti and Ngorongoro often steal the spotlight, lie two wild treasures, Tarangire and Ruaha. They may not carry the same recognition, but for those who seek the essence of Africa in its purest, rawest form, these are the lands where giants still roam and where wilderness whispers its secrets without interruption. Tarangire National Park is often called the home of elephants. Step onto its ochre-colored soil, and you will understand why. Here, herds of elephants, unlike any seen elsewhere, move across the land in numbers that boggle the mind. Mothers, calves, and elders march together, their enormous bodies swaying with quiet strength. In the dry season, when rivers shrink and grass withers, Tarangire becomes a refuge, a sanctuary, where life gathers around the Tarangire River, the park's lifeline. Watching elephants here is like witnessing ancient wisdom in motion. They dig into the riverbanks with their tusks to reach hidden water, teaching their calves survival skills that have been passed down through generations. At sunset, their silhouettes stand against the fiery sky, framed by the haunting outlines of baobab trees, those colossal sentinels that tower above the savanna, their swollen trunks holding secrets of centuries. Baobabs define Tarangire's landscape as much as the elephants. Some are over 1,000 years old, their massive branches stretching toward the heavens like roots reaching for the sky. They store water within their bark, surviving droughts that would wither lesser beings. To stand beneath one is to feel time itself pressing upon you, to be reminded that this land has endured countless cycles of birth and loss. Together, the elephants and the baobabs create an image of timeless Africa, a harmony of giants, living and rooted. But Tarangire holds more than elephants. Its skies belong to birds, over 500 species filling the air with flashes of color and song. Kori bustards, the heaviest flying birds, stride through the grasses, while lilac-breasted rollers shimmer with iridescent hues. Raptors circle above, ever watchful, while small, brilliant sunbirds flit between blossoms. For bird lovers, Tarangire is nothing less than paradise. Then there is Ruaha, vast, untamed, and often overlooked, yet one of the most wild and untouched landscapes in all of Africa. Covering more than 20,000 square kilometers, it is Tanzania's largest national park, a kingdom of silence and space where you can travel for hours without encountering another soul. This solitude is Ruaha's gift. It offers not only wildlife in abundance, but the rare luxury of intimacy with the land itself. Ruaha is a land of predators. Here, lions are kings in numbers unparalleled. They form some of the largest prides in Africa, working together with brutal efficiency to bring down even the mightiest prey: buffalo, giraffe, and sometimes elephants. The drama of predator and prey plays out daily in Ruaha, raw and unfiltered. Leopards stalk through rocky outcrops, blending with shadows, while cheetahs race across open plains, their speed unmatched. For those who dream of Africa's primal power, Ruaha is the stage where it is performed at its finest. Yet, as fierce as Ruaha is, it is also breathtakingly beautiful. The Great Ruaha River winds through the park, a lifeline attracting animals from miles around. Crocodiles bask on sandy banks, hippos grunt in muddy pools, and herds of antelope approach cautiously to drink, always alert for predators lurking nearby. When the rains come, the land transforms, exploding with green, and the river surges with renewed force. Life here is dictated by water. Its presence, its absence, its gift, its power. What sets Tarangire and Ruaha apart from the Serengeti is not just their landscapes, but their solitude. Here, the crowds are fewer, the silence deeper, and the wild feels closer. You can sit for hours watching a herd of elephants cross the river, hearing nothing but the splash of their trunks and the low rumble of their calls. You can watch lions hunt without a line of vehicles crowding the view. You can feel, perhaps for the first time, what it means to be alone with the raw spirit of Africa. Together, Tarangire and Ruaha are the guardians of Tanzania's wilderness. They are reminders that beyond the headlines of the Serengeti, beyond the fame of Ngorongoro, there are places still hidden, still wild, still alive with the pulse of nature as it has always been. There are lands of giants, both animal and tree, both predator and prey, both silence and sound. To journey here is to step back in time into a world unshaped by human hands, where survival follows ancient laws and beauty is measured not in comfort, but in authenticity. For those willing to venture beyond the obvious, beyond the expected, Tarangire and Ruaha offer a gift, an encounter with Africa as it once was, and as it still is, if you know where to look. And so, as the sun dips behind the horizon, casting baobabs into silhouette and painting the river in hues of fire and shadow. One truth becomes clear. Here, the giants still roam, and they always will, so long as the wild is allowed to endure. Imagine the scent of cloves drifting through the air, the crash of turquoise waves against white sandy shores, and the call of history echoing from stone-carved doors. This is Zanzibar, an island that feels like a dream suspended between Africa and Arabia, where cultures blend, spices rule, and the ocean whispers a story that has traveled through centuries. Zanzibar is not just a destination. It is an experience of contrasts. On one side, endless beaches stretch into the horizon, their powdery sands so white they glow beneath the sunday. On the other, narrow alleyways wind through Stone Town, a labyrinth of carved doors, hidden courtyards, and whispers of a past both beautiful and tragic. To visit Zanzibar is to walk through two worlds at once, one shaped by nature's allure, the other by the tides of human history. Let us begin at the shores. The beaches of Zanzibar are often described as some of the most beautiful in the world, and for good reason. At Nungwi and Kenwa in the north, the tide never retreats far, leaving the sea a brilliant canvas of aquamarine and sapphire. Traditional dows wooden sailing boats with triangular lateen sails dot the horizon, their silhouettes unchanged for centuries. At sunset, these vessels glide across golden waters, turning the ocean into a painting of fire and calm. Further east, in places like Paje and Jambiani, the tide creates an entirely different scene. Here, the ocean withdraws dramatically, revealing vast sand flats where women in Ba, brightly colored Kangas harvest seaweed, their silhouettes framed by the boundless sky. When the tide returns, kite surfers harness the steady winds, carving patterns across the waves like brushstrokes on an endless canvas. Every moment by the sea in Zanzibar is alive with rhythm, the ebb and flow of tides, of people, of life itself. But the island is not only about its beaches. It is called the Spice Island for a reason. Deep in its lush interior, spice plantations thrive, carrying scents that once made Zanzibar the jewel of global trade. Cloves, cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom, black pepper all grow here in abundance, their fragrances mingling in the air. Walking through a spice farm is like stepping into a living kitchen of the world, where every leaf, bark, and seed tells a story of flavor and empire. Guides pluck a leaf, crush it, and invite you to inhale its aroma: lemon, grass, fresh ginger, or perhaps the sharp sweetness of vanilla. These spices were once more precious than gold, drawing traders from Arabia, India, and Europe to Zanzibar's shores. Today, they remain part of the island's soul, seasoning both its food and its history. Nowhere is that history more visible than in Stone Town, the beating heart of Zanzibar's past. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, this ancient city is a maze of alleys where life spills out from wooden balconies, where market stalls overflow with fruits and fabrics, and where every door tells a story. The heavy wooden doors of Stone Town, carved with intricate patterns and often studded with brass, symbolize wealth and protection, relics of an era when merchants competed not only in trade, but in beauty and status. Stone Town is a place of contradictions. It is vibrant with culture and music, yet it carries the weight of a dark history. The island was once a hub of the spice trade, yes, but also of the slave trade. The old slave market still stands, with its underground chambers where captives were held before being sold. To walk here is to confront a past both haunting and humbling. Yet, it is also a place of resilience, where communities have transformed pain into strength, and memory into lessons for the future. Beyond history and spices, Zanzibar is alive with celebration. Music flows through its streets, blending rhythms of Africa with melodies of Arabia and India. The Tarab music of Zanzibar, played with oud, kanun, and violins, carries voices that speak of longing, love, and the sea. During festivals like Sauti za Busara, Stone Town transforms into a stage where artists from across Africa come together, reminding visitors that culture here is not preserved, it is lived. And then, of course, there is the ocean itself. Beneath its surface lies another world, just as vibrant as the island above. Coral reefs circle Zanzibar, home to a kaleidoscope of marine life parrotfish painted in bright hues, sea turtles gliding gracefully, dolphins that play in the waves, and whale sharks migrating through deeper waters. Diving here is like falling into a dream of color and silence, where every breath is measured and every movement is suspended in time. Zanzibar is a land of senses: sight, sound, scent, taste, and touch, all heightened in a single place. The spices, the waves, the music, the history, they blend together like ingredients in a perfect dish, each flavor distinct, yet inseparable from the whole. To stand on its shores is to feel suspended between past and present, between Africa and the wider world, between the human story and the eternal sea. As the sun sets behind Stone Town, casting the ocean in gold and shadows across carved doorways, Zanzibar reveals itself not as a place to simply visit, but as a place to feel, to breathe, and to remember. For here, beauty is not just seen, it is lived. There is a place in Africa where the earth rises higher than anywhere else on the continent, where snow crowns the roof of a tropical land, and where the clouds bow before a solitary giant. This is Mount Kilimanjaro, majestic, mysterious, and timeless. To look upon it is to witness something that feels larger than life, a mountain so vast and powerful it seems to touch the heavens. Kilimanjaro is more than a mountain, it is a legend. Rising nearly 6,000 meters above sea level, it is the tallest freestanding peak in the world. Unlike the jagged ranges of the Himalayas or the Andes, Kilimanjaro stands alone, a colossal sentinel watching over the plains of Tanzania. Its snow-capped summit gleams like a beacon against the African sky, defying expectations in a land so close to the equator. From a distance, it is breathtaking. Up close, it is humbling. Every journey to Kilimanjaro begins at its base, where lush rainforests carpet the lower slopes. Here, the air is heavy with moisture, and life thrives in every corner. Colobus monkeys swing from towering fig trees, their white tails like banners trailing behind them. Exotic birds flash between the canopy, their songs echoing through the mist. This is a world of green, damp, and alive, where every step forward feels like entering another realm. Climbing higher, the forest gives way to moorland, a landscape of strange beauty. Giant groundsels and lobelias rise like ancient guardians, plants that look as though they belong to another planet. The air grows thinner, cooler, sharper. The mountain begins to reveal its power not only in its scale but in its silence. Here, above the forest, the world feels stripped of distraction, reduced to stone, sky, and the steady beat of your heart. Beyond the moorland lies the alpine desert, a harsh, windswept plateau where life clings only in scattered tufts of grass and lichen. The sun burns by day, the cold bites at night, and the mountain tests every ounce of endurance. Yet even in this darkness, there is beauty, the endless horizon stretching in every direction, the stars at night so bright they seem close enough to touch, and the sense that you are walking on the edge of the world. And then comes the summit zone, where glaciers crown Kilimanjaro like jewels of ice. Though shrinking with time, these glaciers are relics of an ancient past, a frozen world preserved in the heart of Africa. To stand at Uhuru Peak, the very top of Kilimanjaro, is to stand where earth and sky meet, at 5,895 meters. The air is thin, breaths come slowly, but the view is infinite. The plains of Tanzania stretch far below, and the horizon curves with the shape of the earth itself. For those who make the climb, Kilimanjaro is not only a physical journey, but an emotional one. It is a test of willpower, resilience, and spirit. Every step taken toward the summit is a reminder of human perseverance, of the desire to reach higher, to touch the extraordinary, and for those who simply gaze upon it from the plains below, Kilimanjaro still inspires awe, a reminder that nature's power is beyond measure. But Kilimanjaro is not only a natural wonder. For the Chaga people who live on its slopes, it is a source of life. Its fertile soils nurture coffee plantations, banana groves, and countless farms. Its rivers, born from melting ice and mountain rains, sustain entire communities. To the Chaga, Kilimanjaro is not just a mountain, it is a home, a provider, a sacred presence woven into their traditions and beliefs. Legends surround the mountain. Some say the gods live at its peak, hidden in the mists. Others tell of spirits that wander its slopes, guiding or warning travelers. Even explorers of the past, upon first seeing Kilimanjaro, struggled to believe that snow could exist in Africa. Its summit has always been a place of mystery, a realm of the extraordinary. And yet, Kilimanjaro faces a fragile future. Its glaciers, which have capped the mountain for thousands of years, are retreating, victims of a warming world. Scientists predict they could vanish within decades. The sight of Africa's great white crown disappearing is a sobering reminder of our planet's fragility, of the changes that ripple even through its most timeless places. Still, Kilimanjaro endures. Each day, it rises above the savannas, casting its shadow across elephants, giraffes, and lions below. Each night it glows under the stars, its summit gleaming in silver light. It remains a symbol of resilience, a challenge to those who climb it, and a gift to those who marvel from afar. Mount Kilimanjaro is not simply the roof of Africa. It is a testament to the power of Earth itself, to rise, to endure, to inspire. To stand before it is to feel small, yes, but also to feel connected to something vast, something eternal. For in its silence, its height, and its beauty, Kilimanjaro speaks a truth, that the wildest places on Earth are not meant to be conquered, but to be revered. Imagine a world within a world, a hidden Eden carved by fire, where life thrives in a perfect circle surrounded by towering walls of stone. This is Ngorongoro Crater, one of the most extraordinary natural sanctuaries on Earth, a place where time seems to pause and nature writes its own story in dazzling detail. The crater was born 2.5 million years ago, when a massive volcano erupted and collapsed in on itself, leaving behind a colossal caldera, the largest of its kind that remains intact. Over the centuries, wind, water, and life itself transformed this vast bowl into a paradise. Today, its floor stretches across 260 square kilometers, an entire ecosystem enclosed by cliffs that rise 600 meters high. To stand on the rim and gaze down is to witness one of the most breathtaking sights in Africa, an endless green basin teeming with life. Within its walls lies a kingdom of abundance. Lions bask in the tall grasses, their golden coats almost melting into the sunlight. Herds of wildebeest and zebra move like rivers of life across the plains. Elephants wander gracefully, some with tusks so long they brush the ground. At the shallow waters of Lake Magadi, thousands of flamingos gather, their pink bodies shimmering like a mirage. It feels unreal, as if some divine hand painted every detail with deliberate beauty. Ngorongoro is often called a Garden of Eden, and with good reason. Few places on Earth host such density and diversity of animals in one enclosed space. Every corner of the crater reveals a new scene, a new drama. A cheetah crouches low, ready to sprint. A hyena lurks at the edge, waiting for an opportunity. Vultures circle high above, already anticipating the outcome. Here, the circle of life is not an abstract idea, it plays out before your very eyes, raw and unfiltered. The crater is also one of the best places in Africa to see the elusive black rhino. With its ancient, armored form, the rhino seems like a living relic of the past, a reminder of Earth's wild history. Protected by the crater's natural barriers and conservation efforts, these magnificent creatures endure here while they vanish elsewhere. To witness one against the backdrop of the crater floor is a moment of pure awe, a glimpse into a vanishing world. But Ngorongoro is more than wildlife. It is also home to people who have lived alongside animals for centuries. The Maasai, with their red shukas and proud traditions, graze their cattle along the crater's edge. For them, Ngorongoro is not a wilderness to be visited, but a land to be respected, used, and cherished. Their presence is a reminder that the story of this place is not just natural, but cultural too. It is a story of coexistence, of humans and animals bound together by the same land. What makes Ngorongoro truly magical is the sense of enclosure. Unlike the endless plains of the Serengeti, the crater feels like a world set apart, a sanctuary shielded from time. Within its walls, the dramas of life and death, survival and abundance, unfold like a play on a grand stage. And you, standing on the rim or exploring the floor, are not just a visitor. You are a witness to one of Earth's greatest theaters. Yet this Eden is delicate. As tourism grows and climate changes, the balance here becomes ever more fragile. The grasslands that feed the herds, the waters that nourish the birds, and the animals that give this place its heartbeat all depend on careful stewardship. The crater reminds us not only of the richness of our planet, but also of our responsibility to protect it. At sunset, Ngorongoro transforms into something almost otherworldly. The walls glow with shades of gold and crimson, and shadows stretch across the plains. Flamingos gather in pink clouds, and lions begin to stir for the night. The air cools, silence deepens, and the crater becomes a dreamlike vision, a glimpse of what Earth once was, and perhaps what it still could be. To see Ngorongoro Crater is to step into a living Eden, a masterpiece sculpted by fire and perfected by life. It is a place where every sound, every sight, every heartbeat of the wild resonates with something ancient and eternal. And when you leave, you carry with you the memory of a sanctuary unlike any other, a reminder that somewhere in the world, paradise still exists. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world. Got a favorite spot in Prague? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, safe travels, and see you in the next video.